Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Julie Kay with a mini loaded envelope in a vintage winter wonderland theme. Here's the mini loaded envelope that I created for a swap on Loaded Envelope Galore, which is a Facebook group. And this is a mini envelope, and our theme was primitive winter wonderland, and the requirements were we had to create, besides the mini loaded envelope, we were to create 2 wands and then also 3 primitive hearts or 3 primitive ornament tags to put in. And so I did already show a video of the hearts that I created, and I'll show you the 3 that I'm including in this package that I'm sending out for my partner. But I will also link that video below if you guys want to check that out, because I go into more detail on the little heart tags or ornaments that I created in that video, and I'm probably not going to go into as much detail on those in this video. So here's kind of what it looks like up close. I did use a couple different paper sets from Kaiser Craft, and they were all kind of some winter themed papers, and so that was kind of my paper, plus I used some like base kind of this color blue cardstock, and then also craft cardstock, and then there's also some burlap kind of throughout some of my items that I created. And so in my little loaded envelope, I did add some extra tags that I created out of some of the scrap papers after I created the bigger elements. I just decided to keep on working on things until I ran out of paper. And they all pretty much just look the same. They're just 2 from tags. They're just real basic tags that can be used for Christmas or maybe a birthday gift or something this time of year, just because they just have snowflakes on them. And I just use, I believe it was a Marvy punch. I have two different sizes, and then I have a little ticket punch also that I punched out and then stamped the word to from, and then just these little snowflakes that came from a snowflake garland. And I added some twine up top. I did ink all my edges and then also distress them just so that they looked a little bit more shabby. And then the back side's just the craft cardstock on the back side. In my bag in the front pocket, I also added some bags that I created out of a die from Sizzix. I think it's a jelly bean die. And again, I just punched out a circle, added some of those silver snowflakes that came from a garland, and then also some white snowflakes that came from a garland. And then behind the punched out craft circle that I cut out, I added some eyelash trim. And inside I added some goodies for my swap partner. So I did 3 of those bags. So the last one I just stuck in the top pocket, and again added some goodies in the bag. And so we were also, like I said, to make 2 wands. So here's the first wand that I created. At the top it does say in the cold frosty air, because again it was a primitive winter wonderland type theme. I do have a little rosette here that I created that was from a Tim Holtz die that I had. I had the little snowflake. It was a button or charm that I had in my collection. Behind that I have some eyelash trim. There's a piece of burlap. I did do like a punched out circle with a decorative edge that came from Spellbinders, and then behind that again is just a round circle again from Spellbinders. And then I also decorated the back side, or just left it plain, but I did finish it off so that it looks completed and finished. So my swap partner, if she wants, she can end up adding like a 2 from tag or doing something with the back side of this if she wants, but I did leave it plain for that reason. And then in between my 2 pieces of paper, I did add some of this teardrop trim just to finish it off and give it a nice look. And then I tied a little bow on here. It's kind of a little burlap ribbon, and then also some twine ribbon, and then again another one of the little snowflakes. And then I also attached just some eyelash trim hanging down, and then there's also some twine, and on the twine I did put a bell on both sides. So that's my first wand. And the second wand that I created Again, I just cut out my main base, was just a circle base. I did use chipboard on both of these as my main bases and then layered up on paper. So again, there's some paper, the decorative Spellbinders die, some more burlap, another Tim Holtz snowflake that I created, or rosette snowflake. And then on top of this one, I added one of the little primitive hearts that I ended up not using on the bigger tags, and added a snowflake. I did add some stickles around the end of that. Underneath here, I do have another twine bow that I created, and there's a burlap flower that I put another snowflake on top. I also added a sentiment up here that's layered up, and it just says the first snow had fallen. And again, some stickles around there. And then this one, instead of using the teardrop trim, I had some of this little tinsel trim that I thought was really cute. So I put that in between the two layers just to give it a clean finished look. And again, I just hung some eyelash trim and then some twine, again with the jingle bells on it. I just think the bells are kind of fun. So I kind of have bells throughout this. And then, so those are my two wands. And then I did stick a couple goodies in here, and then I have a couple extra goodies too that I'm going to add because they didn't fit in the package. But here's a little die cut of a snowflake that I added, and I just put a quick little bag topper on top of it. There's a snowflake and then a little bow, and I received these bows last year from Robin Pitts. She gifted me some handmade embellishments, and they kind of matched, so I added them to my bag toppers. I did add some of these little bead flower spray trim. I used some of these kind of throughout my little project, and so I did gift my partner some also. I think they're fun to use on different things with flowers. So I added some of those. And then some silver straws that I thought were really pretty. And inside here I also have just some bling stickers with snowflakes on it. And again, some more of the bag toppers that I created using leftover scraps from when I created the other stuff for this project, and then added the little bows that I got from Robin on the tops of those. And so, and then on the back side of this, I did add in just a quick tag, and I made it a little too big. I had forgotten when I was making this that we were doing mini loaded envelopes instead of the normal sized ones. But I had already created it, and I didn't have any more of the paper left, so I just left it. But I did have a little tuck spot here that I'm tucking it in. And I created this, I think it was a memory box or a poppy stamps die that I have for that one. But again, behind here I layered up with lots of paper, paper and craft paper and the cardstock. And then I inked the edges and also distressed them to give it more of a vintage look. But here is the tag that I created. And just layered up with some of the Kaiser craft paper. I added a little flower, some of the snowflakes, the little sentiment that says winter, the cute little bird, and then a little silver ribbon up at the top. And then I stickled around the picture and then also the edge of the tag. The back, I am going to write my little partner a little note on the back of that from me. And so, and then the other thing I also did is I did add a handle on the top of this. And I have eyelets to reinforce it on the side. And then also on the side I did hang some more eyelash trim and some other trim. This red sticker doesn't belong there. But I added some bells, and then I have some blue eyelash trim and some white eyelash trim, and then just some of this little yarn fiber that I had in my stash. So I have that on both sides of my envelope, or loaded envelope. And then you can see I did make a collar up at the top and turn it over. I did outline one of the layers with the stickles, and then I also did a little burlap bow under here, and the little snowflake button I added right there. And the bottom pocket, I did a lot of layering on this one. I have some trim at the bottom, some bead trim. I have a little frosted Christmas tree that, again, I put stickles around it. I did put some of that bead floral spray behind it. There's a snowflake here. I have one of the primitive hearts right there. It says walking in a winter wonderland that I layered up again with another little flower piece that came from a garland. I have a frame, and then again it's a little vintage couple, and they're holding a sled and it's snowing. I just thought it was a really nice image as part of that Kaiser Craft ephemera pack that comes with some of the paper. And at the bottom I added this little bird that I did first. I distressed it and then I added some stickles over it. And because the belly was open, I did put craft paper behind it. And then again, another little snowflake right down there on that one. So that's what my loaded envelope looks like empty. I had a lot of fun making these ones. They were mini size, so it was my first time decorating a mini one. I did make kind of a sample one earlier just to try out, but I really like how this one turned out. It was a little more difficult for me though for decorating purposes because there wasn't as much room up here to decorate as what you're used to on the bigger ones. But I think it still turned out really cute. So here's one of the little primitive hearts I made. This one does say the snowflakes come down. Here's the second one I created. And here is the third one that I created. And again, I will link my original video where I talk more about these hearts and what I did to them with more of the details. I will also link in the description box below the tutorial that I used to create my mini loaded envelope, and also the original video that talked about these primitive hearts, so you guys can check those out. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. So thanks so much for watching, and everybody have a wonderful day.